Welcome back as we delve back into a little bit of sport, a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, I'm sorry, but we need to understand what went wrong. Australia claimed a 17-run victory over the Proteas in the first T20 International at the Marara Oval, powered by Tim David's explosive 83 and then Josh Hazelwood, a 3 for 27 with ball in hand. Proteas, they fought hard but fell short, extending their winless bilateral series streak. Adrian Indley, Good Hope FM sports presenter, joins us to tell us what went wrong and what we can do to stop Australia, who are on a bit of a streak at the moment. Buddy, thank you so much for being here so early to relive the pain. We went into this with a lot of promise, maybe forgetting that Australia are in the rich vein of form that they're in. What went wrong for the Proteas? I know T20 can turn on a dime. Where did we fall short?
Yeah, I mean, where do we start?
At which point?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, like you said, a lot of promise. All the sort of players that are coming back from that test-winning squad as well. So there was lots of excitement going into this match. But I definitely think if you want to point to a moment, I don't want to put it on one player, but unfortunately, that Tristan Stubbs drop of Tim David.
It's going to happen, and Tim, of course, destroyer.
Yeah, like at that stage, he was like just over 50, ended up getting just over 80. So if you want to do the maths quickly, we ended up losing by about 12 runs. So that was a really crucial point there. If we had gotten him out early, there would have been a huge boost for us.
I think they're very clear when they train and they manage these T20 squads to look at things differently so that individuals don't feel that kind of pressure. And they have to, because T20 is a different dynamic. And if you had to look at the overall performance of this team, to have Australia at where they were during that power play, they were still under 50, I think, at that point. You would think that from a team perspective, that's when the teeth must sink in and we must go for the kill, because you've got to chat. Are we missing a bit of that kind of attitude in those crunch moments? I know it's early days in the season, but what would you be screaming at the players in the dressing room?
Definitely. I think at one stage, I mean, Australia was 76 for 6.
Yeah.
And you look at something like that, you're like, cool, this is the point where you want to completely put your foot on and just sort of see it out. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. We weren't clinical enough, you know. There was a stage where we should have been going for the kill, like you said, but just our bowling was getting a little bit more inconsistent. We weren't taking wickets as regularly as we were. And again, don't take away from Tim David. He absolutely stood up and gave it his all and ultimately helped Australia cross that line, even though they had such a shaky start.
Ryan Rickleton, under pressure, what did you make of his showing?
I mean, Ryan Rickleton, look, he's always been a good player. He has been a little bit inconsistent recently, and also he's sort of been given that starring role. Look, you're going to be opening for us now. And he spoke about that just before the match started. But I think, look, given the circumstances, he put in a very good display. I mean, 77 runs. Wasn't getting much support at all.
I was going to say, despite what was happening around him, that's often a real mark of success, seeing a couple of the catches going down. I mean, this Australian side have their tails up, and that's great. You want to play against the best in form to be able to test yourself. What do we need to do differently? Can we say this is an individual, come on, we need you to put your hands up because that's why you're in the squad? Or can the team manage the way that they're governing their group performance slightly differently, do you think?
No, it's definitely a team thing at the end of the day. I think if we look at our openers, we need our batters to sort of make a more considerable contribution from the start. I mean, obviously, if you're losing wickets early, it puts a lot of pressure on the middle order. The middle order crumbled in this last match. So I think just from the get-go, I think our bowling, it's always been good. We have amazing bowlers. I just like to see more from our batsmen, especially hitting boundaries. I mean, our first 6 only came from KG, like way into our innings. So I think we need to see a little bit more consistency with hitting boundaries, especially from the top.
Maybe just a little confidence to back yourselves. And you would have thought coming out of, and I know it's a slightly altered squad, but coming out of a world-beating performance in the Test arena, that we would have had that confidence coming in. Do we see this as a pull the squad together, build for future potential big tournament kind of vibe? Because we do kind of have that window in the T20 space right now. Can you allow yourself to do that? Because do you take something away from those players who are ready to fire, who you need to be on top form? You can't always be preparing your squad. At some point, you've got to be kind of on form, especially against an Australian team that's playing like this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are prepping for next year's T20 World Cup, and these are the matches where we go, look, we actually need to sort of iron down a team now. We can't be testing the waters all the time, as you said.
Or looking for the next guy who's
Exactly.
going to give us what we need.
We need our players now when really there's no pressure right now. I mean, we aren't playing for anything big here. This is the time when you need your big hitters to actually step up and say, look, I want to be in that T20 squad for the World Cup. So definitely, I mean, look, we're playing this morning again, 11:15. I'm hopeful that we will sort of take what we learned from this first match. Look, we didn't lose by that big a margin. It wasn't a blowout.
It almost makes it more frustrating to know that we had this one in our hands. I think the power play was where it all fell apart, where we could have wrestled a little bit more control, but I'm sitting on the sidelines. Not even on the sidelines, sitting on my couch watching from home. So I'll keep quiet and let the Proteas do what they do a little bit later this morning up against an Australian team that is on fire at the moment. Adrian, thank you so much, my friend. Are you ready? I'm going to ask you because we will talk a little bit of rugby later in the week, I have no doubt. Are you ready for the Rugby Championship, my friend?
Man, I'm so excited. Especially the team that Rassie's chosen. Maybe we'll get some revenge on Australia as well for the Proteas when we face them on Saturday.
I have a feeling.
I can't wait. Especially the test against New Zealand. That's what I'm frothing for.
I have a feeling the world of rugby is frothing for that one as well, whether it's rugby, whether it's cricket. We know the RSA is running thick this morning. Adrian, thank you so much, buddy. Look forward to talking a little rugger later in the week.
Yes, sir.